Hi, this is Jason Lisk with your Week 4 NFL Survivor recap and rundown. Win is a tie or loss? Well, in most Survivor pools, as more people learned on Sunday Night Football this week, that was one of the key results. Let's get to the week that was in NFL Survivor Week 4. We came into the week with the largest favorite of the year so far, and the Buffalo Bills, another double-digit favorite in the Detroit Lions, and several seemingly really good options against the point spread, teams favored by 7 or more. So it looked like a high survival week. That's actually what we did get, though we did have two results that knocked out roughly 10 to 15% of many pools. So let's talk about those results. In the first one, the LA Chargers traveled to New York to face the 0-3 New York Giants, with rookie Jackson Dart making his first start. The Giants jumped out to an early lead. They got a 10-point lead by early second quarter. Never relinquished that lead. The Chargers had chances, but never could take the lead in that one. Got it to 21-18 in the third quarter, but nobody scored in the fourth. And the Giants hold on for the big upset, knocking out about 11% of survivor pools by our estimates on average. The other result was not a loss. The Green Bay Packers on Sunday Night Football ended in a 40-40 tie with the Dallas Cowboys in a game that turned into a shootout. Late scores by everyone, field goals and long drives in overtime. The Packers seemingly not understanding what was at stake for survivable players by trying to really push it for the win. Almost cost themselves the loss anyway by almost running the time on one final play and then kicking the field goal to tie it. And in most survivor pools, send people packing. Now, some pools do have ties as advancements. That's the minority. You want to check your pool rules to know what the situation with you is. You can't really control for that, right? You're not making your pick because a tie advances or loses, but it's still important to know what's going to happen as you get to a rooting interest in overtime and whether you want to be cursing out the coach who's not playing to win the game, as Herm Edwards would say. So Chargers and Packers were the two big results that knocked people out. The Houston Texans were a popular pick. We heard from a lot of you who did not like that pick. They won 26-0. The Titans are bad. New England Patriots, another really good future value savings pick. They won handily over the Carolina Panthers as a 5.5-point favorite. The Bills did hold on. It was a little tighter in the second half than it needed to be, but the Bills did finally get the touchdown to push it to a 2-score game. The Lions handled the Browns. And in the other survivor relevant action, that was Monday Night Football, which is why we're releasing this on Tuesday morning. Wanted to see that result. As it turned out, that result wasn't much in doubt by halftime. Denver won comfortably against the Cincinnati Bengals. So those were your most popular picks, with 5 out of those 7 advancing last week. That brings us to week 5. Now, there was another key result that we want to mention out of week 4. And though it did not impact people in survivor pools that much last week, the Ravens loss and the injuries to the Ravens could have a ripple effect going forward in your pools, including this week. Baltimore was a 9.5 or 10-point favorite just a week ago in look-ahead lines, hosting Houston. Houston looked better in week 4. Baltimore took on a bunch of injuries, and we don't know Lamar Jackson's status. So that one's dropping. You're probably going to see anybody that had locked in early picks on Baltimore fleeing that situation. So we expect their popularity to drop and that to go elsewhere. So Baltimore's immediate future is in doubt a little bit with that injury, and it may have an impact on the picks going forward the next few weeks. In our advice, we were heavy last week on Houston, New England, and Denver. So it was a good week overall there. We did not have picks on the Chargers. We thought that was a risky spot. So at least for 1 week, the future value savings plays of Houston, New England worked. And those that played that way had a pretty good week. And it's on to week 5, another one with some interesting future value considerations. So look for our video that comes out by Wednesday morning on week 5 Survivor. Good luck.